Sent from Disneyland, history in our hand. So much to say about yesterday and the decades we have spanned. Postcards from the park, this journey will embark. See what has changed and what remains on Sent from Disneyland. Sent from Disneyland.
Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this podcast, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland, Disneyland history, and more, with mementos, snapshots, souvenirs, and postcards sent from Disneyland, from 1955 to the present. Let's start by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join in at any level to support the show and receive snail mail from my trips to Disneyland and from my desk, plus some sneak peeks and bonus content. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the rest of the e-ticket patrons, Tania, Eric Daniels, Monica Seitz Vega, Scott Cagle, Russ Romano, Michael and Christina Cross, Angela Reynolds, Greg Gorley, and Sheila Harry. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Grace Coate, and Ben and Noel Bruning, B-ticket patron Joshua Bell, and to the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Alexis Robles, Angel DeBlock, Daps Magic, and the Beyond the Railroad podcast. I am your host, your post-host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has Mickey Mouse waiting in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. In the background, you can see the top of the Matterhorn. On the back it reads, "Welcome to Fantasyland. Mickey Mouse greets visitors in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle, gateway to the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland." It's postmarked June 12, 1984, with an image of the Coliseum with the phrase, "Host, 1932 Olympics, Los Angeles, cancel," and a 20-cent Civil Service 1883-1983 postage stamp, Scott number 2053. I assume they visited the park on Saturday, June 9th, 1984, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to midnight. The weather was a high of 79 and a low of 57. It's addressed to Mr. and Mrs. Fred Schlabel of San Francisco, California. It reads, 6/10/84. Dear Fred and Vicky, we are having a good time here. Donald had a birthday party. Love, Diana, Harold, Clara, and William. Since it's Donald Duck's birth month, I thought it'd be fun to go back to 1984 and look at the celebration for Donald. This postcard sender was able to see the official kickoff of Donald's birthday celebration. And looking at some promotional material, the start of the celebration was called Disneyland Goin Quackers. I found a home video of Donald's birthday presentation in front of the Main Street Railroad station. For the event, there were a few stages set up in Town Square. The performers called the location Duckburg and invited all the ducks of Duckburg, including Scrooge, Daisy, Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Ludwig Von Drake, presiding as Mayor of Duckburg. Following a brief speech by Mayor Von Drake, they invited Donald's friends from Disneyland. Watching the parade of characters from the old bank of Disneyland in the corner of Town Square, it was almost every character they had backstage in 1984. This included characters from movies like Snow White, Robin Hood and the Rescuers, and characters from animated shorts like Chip and Dale, Goofy, and Pluto. Finally, the Duck of the Hour arrives, and they declare the day Donald Duck Day in Duckburg, and give Donald the key to their hearts. Happy Birthday was sung, along with some other songs for the event. Also in attendance was the Disneyland Band, wearing powder blue jackets and white pants, mimicking the look of Donald Duck. Add some flair to your mail by checking out stamps at Enfield Post. You can explore different stamp options on our Etsy site, grab some great deals by following the EP Sunday sales on Instagram, or create something special and have her design a stamp array for your invitation or celebration. You can head over to EnfieldPost.com and explore all the different vintage postage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Instagram and EnfieldPost.com for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard has Mickey Mouse on a Jungle Cruise boat, dressed as a skipper, and shooting towards one of the hippos in the hippo pool, running out of one of the hippo's mouths, and on the top of the water is Donald Duck. On the back it reads, Jungle River Cruise. Disneyland's Jungle Cruise is a mysterious and sometimes dangerous adventure, and Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse will agree that a hippo almost had a duck dinner before Mickey saved the day for Donald. It's postmarked July 21st, 1964, with a Tustin cancel and a 4-cent Lincoln postage stamp, Scott number 1036. I assume they visit the park on Tuesday, July 21st, 1964, when park hours were from 9 a.m. to midnight. The weather was a high of 80 and a low of 63. Park attendance that day was 35,835. It's addressed to Margie Lindsay of Los Altos, California. It reads, July 21, 64. Dear Margie, today we went to Disneyland and had a ball. Tonight we are going again to see the fireworks and to go on more rides. We arrived here yesterday and having a panic. Love, Mary. Bluebird Motel, Santa Ana. Following the celebration, the video has the parade for Donald that naturally starts with a float with Mickey and Minnie Mouse, with the classic image of Donald that you'd see before a Donald Duck cartoon short. Also on the float were Donald's nephews playing instruments. An oversized pink box float was next, surrounded by Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs dancing around it. A float with multiple levels and a giant cupcake included Chip and Dale and Brer Fox came next. Characters from Cinderella and Pinocchio preceded the next oversized box, this time yellow. Another long, multi-tiered float held Baloo, King Louie, Clara Cluck, Eeyore, Little John, and Bernard and Bianca. This float was surrounded by characters and dancers. Some of the characters were from Winnie the Pooh, the Three Pigs, and Robin Hood. Alice, the Tweedles, and the Queen of Hearts danced around the next oversized green box float. Goofy and Pluto arrived on a float with a large cake at the top. A final oversized blue box float arrived with Mary Poppins, some penguins, and Hook, Smee, and Peter Pan. Finally, the last float had all the ducks from Ludwig Von Drake, Scrooge, Daisy, Gladstone Gander, Jose and Panchito from the Three Caballeros, and Donald Duck at the very top of the float. I did see another version of the parade where Gladstone Gander was replaced with Grandma Duck. The parade's first official performance was on June 16th, a week after Donald's 50th birthday, Donald being seen on screen for the first time on June 9th, 1934. At the end of 1984, an hour-long special, hosted by Dick Van Dyke, aired and showed some of the parade. The special had Donald placed on an earlier float for the show and had him standing on the top of the birthday cake on the float with Goofy and Pluto. This year celebrating Donald was bittersweet, as it would be the last year Clarence Nash would voice the iconic character. Clarence had been voicing Donald for over 51 years, but passed away in February of 1985. So his voice is heard in the parade and in the special with Dick Van Dyke. Tony Anselmo, a Disney animator, took over Donald's voice. Tony was able to train with Clarence before his passing. My incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is a craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern or 6 Pacific. Art Throwdown is a wonderful community of artists who love to share their craft, from creating sticker postcards and coloring techniques to intricate paper cutting and unique crafting. It's always a treat to watch a show and occasionally get some one-of-a-kind postcards from the group. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming postcard has 3 brown seashells and 1 sea star on a light brown postcard. Its postmark did not ink properly, but was sent in June of 2026, and with a 2026 bicycle with flower basket postage stamp, Scott number 6072. It reads, She sells seashells by the seashore. Traditional tongue twister. Thank you so much for the postcard, Mojave Correspondence Club. I thought this week it might be fun to look behind the scenes of this podcast. This tongue twister postcard made me chuckle because I will be recording what I wrote for an episode and get completely tongue twisted and have to restate the line or phrase a few times and then go back and delete the flubs, most of the time cursing myself for writing such a hard phrase or sentence to say. Sometimes I'll even stop and rewrite something to make it easier to say. Also, it's funny that I woke up this morning with the idea of doing a Donald Duck episode and was able to find a postcard that directly references the video found on YouTube. After almost 6 years worth of episodes, it's amazing to learn something new about the parks. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment on whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/sentfromdisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at sentfromdisneyland or my website, sentfromdisneyland.com. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent from Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney-related properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to the host and guests of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. This podcast is produced and edited by Clocky McDowell, website designed by Misty McDowell, theme song was written and performed by Noah Sunday Lefkowitz. Take it away, Noah. It reads, she sells seashhells by the seashore. Traditional tongue twister.